So at this stage of work managing these double nucleus colonies, we're coming back to check to see if the queens have mated, and we'll find and mark the queens. We come back at about 27 days after we put the cells in. The reason we don't come back after 2 weeks is that in some cases our queen cell didn't work out and the bees will have raised their own queen. So if we go through these hives now, if they have capped brood, just because of the timing, we know that that's our queen and we could find her and clip her and mark her. If we find that the colony is queen right but the brood isn't capped, we know that that is a cell, it's a wild queen, one that they've raised, and we can keep track of that in our records. But if we come back after 2 weeks, half of them or 3/4 of them are fine, but then we've got virgins and other ones, and it's just a confusing situation. So it's better to wait until about 27 days and then check on things then. You can work right through them and finish them right up. So Dave's going to take this hive apart now and check to see how the queens have done. So we'll peel back one inner cover, with the inner cover on one side, and we can see this partition inner cover here. As you can see, this is a good strong one. There's the queen cell right here, so he'll pull that out first. And does it look like she hatched out, Dave? Mm-hmm. Yep. Alright, so everything looks normal here. Let's hope we find that she's mated then. So we'll take out some frames, start at the very outside here, loosening everything up. This frame was foundation when we put it in 27 days ago, and they have drawn that out nicely. Lots of comb there, and they've stored some honey. So now we're looking for the queen, and we'll look to see if we can find eggs, larvae, and pupa. I happen to be in kind of a shady spot here, a little trickier to find a queen in the shade like this, but Dave's pretty good at finding queens, so I think he'll do all right. There she is. Good work, Dave. Nice buckfast markings there, pretty heavily striped. So now Dave will pick her up and mark her and clip her. You've all seen that in other videos, so we'll just carry right on. So he'll mark her and clip her, put her back in there, and then work on this side and do the same thing. If this side is pretty strong, and it is, then we'll be able to super the colony. So we're going to just move over here to this hive, and we've marked and clipped the queen on both sides here, lots of bees on both sides. So now we're going to super them, and we'll take this excluder, and this is a wire rimmed excluder. They tend to get a bit of a bend on them, so we don't put the bend up or the queens would be able to go back and forth like this to get at each other, and we'd only end up with one queen. So what we do is we kind of fluff up this cloth here, so we'll just raise it up a little bit there so that it's nice and sealed down in here, but raised a little bit there. And what we're trying to accomplish by doing that is to make a good seal. So when that queen excluder sits down there, there's a when that queen excluder sits down there, it fits nice and tight up against that cloth down below. And now we can add a honey super on top of this and close it up. The bees from this side of the double nuke come up and work on this side of the box. The ones from the other side come up and work on there, and then they work towards the middle. And as they fill that up, we can then add another box. So we have 2 colonies sharing the same honey supers in common. And by doing that, they can put all the honey up in the honey supers, And the queens have room to lay down in those small 5-frame units down in the bottom. But it's important that they don't get clogged up with honey down the bottom, or there won't be any room for the queen to lay. And so we can harvest honey from our nukes the first year that we make them up. At the end of the year we take that honey off, winter them as a double nuke, and as you saw, you will see in the next section of the video, we can divide those in the springtime into 2 separate hives. So that's it, we'll just close the hive up.